Welcome to Shul.com. We are learning the laws of Shabbat by Rabbi Yonatan Naxon, and we are up to the discussion of taking out the Torah. When taking out the Sefer Torah on Shabbat, one should take it out using his right hand. Even during any time, actually, you take it out with the Sefer Torah, you pull it out with your right hand towards your left and bring it to your right shoulder. When holding it, one should hold it on one's right side and give it to the person who will be performing HAGBAHA to his right side as well. So you're the guy who had the Peticha, you opened up the HECHAL, you take out the Sefer Torah, and then you give it to the individual and you put it towards his right, so that you assist him in doing it right. Don't put it on his left so that he has to shift it, you put it straight onto his right side. Ashkenazim give the Sefer Torah to the Hazan once it is taken out of the HECHAL. They have a different custom. I know this is a book on Sfaradim, but we also discuss some of the Ashkenazi customs. Sfaradim, on the other hand, give the Sefer Torah to the one who will be performing HAGBAHA. It's actually interesting because we actually do something even different. We have two people. We have a separate guy who does HAGBAHA, and we have a guy who actually carries we sell it twice. Of course, listen, it's a good money maker to sell it twice, and so they say over here, it's a magbiya mazalo. That doubles the price. It is customary that the one who took out the Sefer Torah should also be the one who puts it back. So if you're the guy who pulled it out, you should be the one who puts it back. See if any notes? No. Many communities have the custom to take out the Sefer Torah while it is open, so that the people can see the writing on the Sefer Torah. This is the custom of the Yalkut Yosef. It is the Syrian custom as well, that they open it in the HECHAL and then they carry it open. That's how we've always done it by Rabbi Mansour, where it's carried open. It's important because over here we carry it closed.
Well, recently
we started to shift a little bit because we learned the halakha inside, but it's important, and that's why it's incumbent on people that are ordering new Sifrei Torah, order the light ones, the lightweight ones, because some of the older Sifrei Torah are so heavy to carry and open. They're huge and they're heavy. And so obviously they are what they are, but going forward, it's always good to get a Sifrei Torah that are the new lighter weight ones. They have the fiberglass ones, and even now the metal ones are much more lightweight. They're not using heavy materials. However, some communities do not have this custom and take out the Sefer Torah while it is closed. And he brings down here the Ben Ish Hai in Toldot 2-16, the Kaf HaHayim Sofer 134-10. So there's two different customs. Hamavajah was to do it open. The Syrian custom is to do it open. And well, the Moroccan do it closed because the Moroccan Sefer Torah are scrolls. They're not the ones in cases. They have an Ashkenaz style scroll. Here in HECHAL Shalom, the Moroccan shul, not far from here, they're all scrolls. They used it like the Ashkenazim. They have it that way. Yes. According to the Mikubalim, it's important to place the rimonim, the small crown-like adornments, on the Sefer Torah. So that's a big one. It's brought down in Shivat Zion, that they usually sell the rimonim. Sometimes we give it to the kids, as thing, which is good. It brings a person Yirat Shamayim, Ahavat Torah. The Chidah brings down, it's a big segula for Yirat Shamayim.
But that's only on Shabbat. During the week.
No, yeah, we don't. They could do it.
It's not customary.
You could do. It's not customary. It could be done as well, but we do it on Shabbat, on Yom Tov. Many times, I'm in shul and they're selling all the stuff and they don't sell rimonim. And so I am the one who will usually make the comment and say, I'll buy the rimonim. And I get it usually for a good price. And so you get that extra mitzvah.
I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
Against you next time.
There's always a guy who likes to outbid. When walking with the Sefer Torah from the HECHAL to the Bima, one should walk with it to the right side of the synagogue. Right side, depending on how you're looking at the shul. So obviously when you're walking...
To the right of the bima.
Yeah, right of the bima. That's how we would do it. And he says the Mishnah Berurah 141-25 and Kaf HaChaim 141-37, who state that one should go to the right of the synagogue, even if it will take longer to get to the bima than if one were to go to the left. It's important also in the Syrian communities, I know we've done it by Rabbi Mansour, that there's a specific, they make a specific duty to go out of their way to show it to the women. So they make sure to go so that the women can also see the ketibah, and there's a lot of orot, lights that come out, and the person should look at the text. Two of the places that the person should look is both in the beginning of where we are reading, as well as looking for a word that starts with the first letter of your name. So it's also a good thing. Even when putting the Sefer Torah back at the conclusion of the reading, many communities have the custom to carry it open on the way back when they're going back. However, some communities carry it back while it's closed, even though they took it out when it was open. Now, according to the Kabbalah, from what I read in the past, is that the orot, the lights, and all the beracha of the lights come out from the time that you take out the Sefer Torah until you finish reading. Once you finish the reading, the orot are no longer there, so opening it would not give the benefit as much as when you would do before the reading. But they still do it. Rabbi Mansour Shul, they do when they get up to the bima, they would always just open it again for them to see it. And it's a nice custom, but if you want to be from the Mikubalim, the main orot are from the time it's taken out until you finish reading it. It is customary to kiss the Torah when it is passing by in the synagogue, and to bring one's children to do so as well. So kiss the Sefer Torah, put your hand on it to kiss it, it's good. However, when carrying the Sefer Torah, one should not lower it for children to kiss. And also, or go out of one's way so the congregants can kiss the Torah, or go out of one's way so the congregants can kiss the Torah. So what you should do,
detour.
Don't detour. You go on your way and let them come to the Sefer Torah. Don't lower it for the Sefer Torah.
Right.
And also don't lower it for the Rimonim. A lot of times, the kids they can't reach, so you should lift the kids up and not lower the Torah for them. Some people have the custom to specifically kiss the Sefer Torah with their mouth, not just by touching it with their hand and kissing their hand. If one is far away from the Sefer Torah and cannot reach out and touch it, then some people have the custom to wave their hand in the direction of Torah and then kiss their hand. You'll see that many times where people go like this. They're kissing it, where they're not going to go reach it, and that's okay. If going out of your way to go run to touch and kiss it is going to jump over people and push them and shove them, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary.
What I always do, if there's a lot of people, I at least wherever I am, I'll take like a couple steps forward.
Very good. Very good. It's showing the honor.
I want exactly.
But it's important that we don't forget that we have to have a certain behavior. That you're not going to go and sit there. You're pushing people out just to go out there. But listen, if you're a swift walker and you can go around and get through right away, then go do it. Why not? He has some notes here. The Rama in 149-1 in Halichot Shlomo in Tefillah and Piskei Teshuvot, who states that according to the Kabbalah, there is a special segula for forgiveness of the sin of touching arayot if one kisses Torah while touching it with both hands. That's also brought down in the Mikra B'Tzion. This is brought by the Chemdat Yamim, Yesod V'Shorosh Ha'avada, Kitzur HaShela, Sefer Torah, and Chesed Alafim. So if somebody...
A lot of women.
No, what he's saying here with arayot is that, let's say a male touched a lady that he's not supposed to touch. So what the segula is that he's bringing down is that you take two hands and put on the Torah and kiss it. That's what I see that he's saying here, that he should touch it with both hands. Usually you'll have someone do it with one. Here, so it's with both hands, and it's a certain kapara for touching the wrong gender or the opposite gender that you shouldn't. One is obligated to stand when the Sefer Torah is in motion, being taken to the bima and being put back in the HECHAL. So the rule usually is, if the Sefer Torah is standing, you're standing. If the Sefer Torah is sitting, you're sitting. So as you're carrying it out of the HECHAL, it's standing, you'll stand along with it. If possible, it is praiseworthy for everyone present to follow behind and escort the Sefer Torah from and to the HECHAL, unless it will cause a disturbance. He has a note here. He brings down from the Kafa Hayim Sofer 147-10, who states that one only needs to escort the Sefer Torah for a few steps, just like you do, Ed. So what you can do is you don't have to walk it the whole way. You walk it a couple of steps. It shows its honor, and then you can go back to teaching.
I have a quick question, and maybe it's going to be the next point.
Yeah.
But one of the things that, again, I learned, I don't know if it's but like if you're facing a certain way, the Sefer Torah goes like this way, you can't have your back.
You shouldn't have your back to it. No. You should turn.
Yes. You should follow. Your body should be pointed in the direction that it's like.
It's going. Yeah, where it's open.
Where it's open.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's more kavod, more honor.
That's more kavod.
More kavod for sure than putting your back. You're never supposed to put your back to it. HAGBAHA. Okay, so HAGBAHA. The custom of Sfaradim is to perform HAGBAHA before Kiriyat Torah. We lifted it before. Unlike Ashkenazim, to perform HAGBAHA afterwards, before reciting the Haftarah. The Halacha B'Rah, volume 7, page 82, points out that it seems that the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch is to perform HAGBAHA before Kiryat Torah, since he places the laws of HAGBAHA before the laws of Kiryat Torah. However, the Ashkenazi custom follows the Ramah 134-2, who states to perform HAGBAHA after Kiryat Torah. Just a small note on this that was brought down by Rav Musafi, that he said that why was it the Ashkenazim did it after? Because supposedly back in the old country in Europe, Eastern Europe, or wherever it was, many people used to come just to see the Sefer Torah be opened, and they would kiss it and look at it, and then bounce. They would leave. And so what they did is they said, okay, if that's what they're going to do, we'll do it at the end, and then we'll make them stay, and we kept them hostage. And so that was what I heard. It's probably true. It makes sense. It makes sense, and so that's that. HAGBAHA should be performed by lifting the Sefer Torah while facing the HECHAL. You're facing it straight and turning 360 degrees to the right clockwise. Always, when you turn, during this time, during Lecha Dodi, anytime you turn, always turning towards your right, from the right hand. One must bow when saying the words of Sefer Torah during HAGBAHA. Make a little bow towards it. It is customary to recite the words V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Israel, as in Devarim 4-44. He has a note here on the bottom. Shulchan Aruch 134-2 Bikei Yosef LeDavid Emet and Ben Ish Hai Toldot Piskei Teshuvot states that even though there are many people who are not aware of this custom, one should still bow, even though he will be the only one doing so. Because a lot of people don't bow on there. For men,
as soon as you do HAGBAHA, you
do a quick bow while you're looking at it. Okay. For why many Ashkenazim are not permitted to bow during HAGBAHA, that's brought down in Halichot Shlomo. Okay, very nice. Some people have the custom to point their pinky finger at the Sefer Torah during HAGBAHA. That's not our custom. Our custom is to point either all of them or the pointer. Now, it's supposed to be the etzbah. It's called the etzbah. There is a reason for that, because that's the finger you follow along. I don't know why I've seen only Ashkenazim do it this way. I don't know.
You watch on Shabbat, I see it all the time. Most of the Sephardim do with the pinky also. I said, hey, no.
No, it's with this finger.
Exactly.
That I know, and that's the way I've seen it also by Rabbi Mansour. Me'am Lo'ez Devarim 27-26 states that it is customary to point to the place with one's pinky finger and kiss it. That's the Me'am Lo'ez. This is also brought down from the Kaf HaChaim Palachi in Sefer Chayim 3-6. He also Vevot Ephraim Mikra B'Tzion Teshuvat Harishon L'Tzion 1-7. He doesn't actually bring down to do it with your index finger, but that's the way that we've done it. Yeah.
But let me ask you. But on Shabbat, you use it with the talit. A lot of people, they make a ring.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Right, but I mean, But
he didn't mention that.
Doesn't mention that.
Doesn't mention it at all here. You're right. That's how I do it too. I'll take it with my index finger and I'll go like that. Right. And it's nice just to kiss the tzitzit, bring another mitzvah in it, but he doesn't bring it down here. Right. Okay. It is praiseworthy to stand close to the Sefer Torah during HAGBAHA in order to be able to read the words of the Torah as well. You want to see the beginning of the parasha and then look also for a word beginning with the letter of your name. But don't worry too much about finding a word with the letter of your name. The reason I say this is because when would a person have an issue? My name is Yonatan in Hebrew. It's Yud. So Yud, you have to find a Yud. So are there times of the year where there's no Yud? Absolutely. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you, what's your Ed? What? Yehoshua. Okay, so also Yud. So I'll tell you when we have an issue. When do we have an issue? During the entire Chanukah. If you actually look, Parashat Naso, when they repeat, there is no letter Yud.
I would get very frustrated.
Yeah, I think the Yud only comes up maybe one time, but for most of the days of Chanukah, you will not find the Yud. I pay attention to that because I remember I was looking and I said, wow, I said, we're just repeating the same paragraph over, same parasha, and you don't see it. I think it only comes up once in the beginning, maybe with Yehuda or something, but the rest you won't find it. One must remain standing during the HAGBAHA until the Sefer Torah is put down on the bima. Okay, let's see here. It says on the bottom, the Arizal on Shar Kavanot, page 48, states that one who does so will merit a great blessing. So let's see here. That now he's talking about standing close to the Torah during HAGBAHA. And he says here, the Ben Ish Chai in Toldot states that one should try to find the words in Torah with the first letter that one name begins with. That's brought down by the Ben Ish Chai. So again, the Ben Ish Chai was Rabbeinu Yosef Hayim, Yud. He would also have the same issue on Hanukkah because on many of the days on Hanukkah, there is no letter Yud. One must remain standing during the HAGBAHA until the Sefer Torah is put down in the Binyan. We said that. Okay, Kiryat HaTorah, reading it. The obligation of it. The Torah may only be read with the berachot in the presence of 10 Jewish men above the age of bar mitzvah, at least 6 of whom who have not yet heard the Kiryat Torah that day. So the majority, 6, have to be there. The other 4 could have already prayed and heard it. The obligation of reading the Torah with a minyan is a rabbinically established communal obligation and not a personal obligation. It's on the community, not on the person. So let's see what he says here. In Yerushalmi Megillah 4-1 and Talmud Bavli Bava Kama 82a, as codified by Rambam in Tefillah 12-1, state that the institution of reading the Torah publicly was made by Moshe Rabbeinu. See also the Birkei Yosef 47-8, Aruch HaShulchan Yechaveh Da'at. This is also implied by the Shulchan Aruch 146-2, who states that only Parashat Zachor and Parashat Para may be a Torah obligation, meaning a mitzvah from the Torah, not from the rabbis, implying that the other times the Torah is read in public is only a rabbinical obligation. And so usually during Parashat Zachor and Para, usually Zachor, of course, we tell even women to come and listen to hear that parasha. And so according to Shulchan Aruch, it's also Parashat Para. So you have those 2 weeks a year of that obligation. Women are not obligated in listening to Kiryat HaTorah. So if she doesn't want to come and listen, or she came late, she's no obligation. It's interesting that women usually want to make it to shul right by the Sefer Torah. Exactly. But they don't have that obligation. On Shabbat, a minimum of 7 people are called to the Torah to recite the berachot upon the Torah, known as an aliyah, going up, being lifted up. He has a note, but we'll finish reading here. Additional aliyot can be read to honor more people. However, one must read a minimum of 3 pesukim per aliyah. Although it is permitted to read the same pesukim again, it is preferable to read at least 3 new pesukim instead for each added aliyah. Once one has finished the parasha and recited Kaddish, no more aliyot may be added. So once he finishes the end and says Kaddish, it is over for adding it. Let's see, he has a note here. Talmud Bavli Megillah 23a that states several reasons for why there are 7 aliyot on Shabbat. See also Eliyahu Rabbah states that this is done corresponding to each day of the week. See Mikra B'Tzion, who brings from the Arizal that the aliyot correspond to the 7 sefirot discussed in the Kabbalah. The Shulchan Aruch 282-1 and Chazon Avadah Shabbat, who states that one should not add extra aliyot if there is no particular need. And for the most part, there's almost no particular need unless there's a party or some affair in the shul. A lot of times they add these aliyot, and it ruins the whole feeling of the kiryat. Why do I say that? Because I've been in shuls where they add 4, 5, 6 aliyot to the 7. Mosif Rishon, Mosif Sheni, Mosif Shlishi. And then you're sitting there and they're just reading 3 pesukim. If there's no real purpose, it's probably better not to, as the Shulchan Aruch is bringing down, because it takes away from the enjoyment of people coming to shul to listen to Torah. The 7 aliyot, let's do the 7. Unless there's a particular need. Maybe there's 2 affairs. Even if there's like a bar mitzvah, a wedding, you could probably get away with the 7. Right. We're doing it. So it's preferable to not add the aliyot if there's no particular need. I know that in one of the Moroccan shuls here, they do a lot of mosifim. It's preferable not to. On Shabbat day...
We see a lot. I mean, I know here we're kind of limited to like 3.
Yeah, 3 is a lot. 3 is 50% of what your requirement is. It's a lot. It's a lot. What's the main purpose? If it's just for money, it's a problem. You know, and this happens... I mean, we didn't do here yet the halachot, the laws of Yom Tov, which we're going to get to, Bilina did. But on Yom Tov, we only read 5 aliyot, right? And if you look at the text of the Hachamim, why do we read 5 and not 7? For one main reason, so that you can go home early to spend time with your family on Yom Tov. That's the reason you do 5 instead of 7. Right. Now go figure, what do we do on Yom Tov? We add not only 5, we add 7, we add 8, we add 9, we add 10. What do? We pretty much did the opposite of what the rabbis wanted us to do.
That's a problem.
It takes away completely from the feeling and the enjoyment of the tefillah. And it stretches out the tefillah. People start to talk. People get antsy, and you know.
People get upset. They get.
Yeah, and they're watching like, you know, what are you adding all these aliyot for? You know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately it happens a lot, and usually it happens by people who are not learned. Usually the people that are giving out the aliyah, they're not sitting and learning Hilchot Shabbat. They don't know the halachot of Shulchan Aruch well enough, and they're not always well versed. He's a guy. He's the gabbai, or he's giving out the aliyot and things like that. He's not well versed in this. And so it's important that they understand that what the halakha says on it, and why the reason is, because if he knows it, you know, he'll do it more properly. On Shabbat day, if one only read 2 pesukim for the aliyah, he should do as follows. Let's say by mistake, they only read 2. He didn't know. If he already finished reciting the after beracha of the aliyah, then another person should be called up and he should recite a new aliyah and reread the aliyah with a minimum of 3 pesukim, the one that was originally read. Shulchan Aruch 137-4 and Halacha Berura. However, if this happened during mincha, then the same person should reread the aliyah. That's the mincha of Shabbat. So that same person should reread it on mincha if that happens. If he has not yet recited the last beracha on the aliyah, even if he already had closed the Sefer Torah, he should reopen the Torah and recite at least one more pasuk, then he may recite the beracha. So if it happened that he said 2, he didn't realize, and he closed it, it's okay. Just reopen it and do it. Here we don't even close the Sefer Torah. We have that little kind of like fabric that goes along just to cover the text. So in our case, you won't even close it sometimes. There's no particular obligation to stop an aliyah at the stopping points that are printed in most chumashim. You don't have to. Amongst the Chalabi community, the Syrian community, you bet that they are extra particular to do it exactly how they do it. But according to the Sephardic custom, you don't have to. However, one must read a minimum of 3 pesukim per aliyah. Some communities split up the aliyot in a way that the aliyah will usually end off and begin in a positive way. So they'll usually end it at a pasuk that is one that's a beracha, not that one that ends off in a knot. So he says, for examples of places that one should end in aliyah, see Shivat Zion, volume 1, page 35, and he brings down Otzar Pelaot HaTorah Bamidbar, page 862. When there is a double parasha, such as Vayikel Pekudeh or Matot Mas'eh, it is customary that the 4th aliyah is the aliyah that bridges both parashiot, the 4th aliyah. So when you're reading 2, the Baal Koreh should take in mind, you should do 3. The 4th is the connector. However, if one did not do so, the congregation has still fulfilled their obligation, and it's okay, but if to do it the right way is to do the 4th aliyah. If a pasuk was skipped on Shabbat, one must go back and read the pasuk that was skipped along with another 2 pesukim that followed the pasuk with the berachot upon the Torah and barichu. If that mistake happened, one must go back even after the Torah has been put away and Musaf has already been prayed.
Wow.
So if they already finished the tefillah and then they realize, hey, wait, I think you missed a pasuk, or I think you started at the wrong place. Bring it back out, take it out, say the beracha, because 2 pesukim is no good. One must go back even after Torah has been put away and Musaf has already been prayed. However, once the congregation has already gone home, one does not go back to read the skipped pasuk. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.